Dear ladies and gentlemen, good evening from the live exercise session. I need to start from the beginning. We are doing this the very first time, so I hope we do not fail. I need to be honest with you. So, some people might of you know we have written a couple of months ago a new ESD-ISPET position paper. And now we are trying to show you the evidence from a practical point of view that this position paper is also working. We have here 3 guests. They are more or less professional athletes living with type 1 diabetes. And let me introduce to you Leo, with a big applause from your side, please. And Pia, please come on the stage. And Markus, who was running over the last 7 days the Transalp Marathon and who was running every day 6 hours over the last day and is today with us in Vienna. Hi, Markus. You can start with a slight warm-up if you want to, and I will show you what is the plan for today. This is my conflict of interest, and we will be discussing some background, what we'll be seeing today. We will be discussing the glucose responses we expected around exercise, and some information around the ESD-ISPET position paper, and then we will compare the position paper to that, what is going on with them. But let's check the trace first. Can we have a small view on the treadmill, please? What is going on with Markus' glucose at the moment? So we have a 123 milligram per deciliter. I'm sorry for you guys who are not speaking German. It's a German version. And secondly, we are using an Austrian milligram per deciliter. Can we go into the landscape to see also what is going on in that moment with the automated basal delivery? And what do we see here from the beginning? We see a complete stop in the basal delivery. Markus, can you explain why? What have you done in preparation to this run?
I started with breakfast and then eat nothing again the whole day because I still have some reserves of my belly. I can train out now the next hour.
Did you start the ease off and a higher glucose target?
Yes, glucose target is 150 and ease off minutes before.
Okay. Why did you do that?
Because you told me.
Thank you. So this is always the issue when you do a real-time session, that people are too honest with you. So why did we do it? So for moderate intensity exercise, and we can jump back to the PowerPoint presentation. For moderate intensity exercise, we would expect something like decreasing glucose or even very fast decreasing glucose. So what do we know when people with type 1 diabetes are doing exercise? We have the situation, the more they are moving, not always the glycemia is improving. And these are data for insulin pen and insulin pump. But let's check now the funny part. As soon as you add the factor AID, automated insulin delivery, everything is better. And this is clearly shown by the data. But let's not talk too much from my side. Let's jump into the bicycle to Bia. And Bia, can you explain, to share the new screen from Bia, and can you explain what you did in preparation to this exercise session?
Yeah, so I had lunch at about 2 p.m. and then I took the ease off mode at 4 p.m. and I took some carbs in advance, 10 grams, because I was a bit low or going down.
Can we go into the landscape? Because this is very important information we do see with mylife, CamAPS. We do see when people during exercise are consuming carbs, they need to fill it into the system as hypoglycemia treatment. Why is this so important? If this is not happening, we would see an immediate increase in the automated insulin delivery. So always take care when you work during exercise with mylife CamAPS, you have this option. Fill it into the system as hypoglycemia treatment when people with type 1 diabetes are consuming carbs in advance to the exercise session or even during the exercise session. How do you feel at the moment? What is planned with you? What type of exercise?
High intensity training, so sometime faster and then slower periods of cycling.
Okay, so this is your experience, what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if you hold true. Let's jump back to the PowerPoint presentation. So this is the response we do normally see when we're doing different types of exercise. So what we are doing today is we have here one strength training session we will be discussing shortly, Leo, and then we have this high intensity interval session, and we have this continuous moderate intensity exercise session. So what would we normally expect at various glucose response? So what is known, what we have already published within the ESD position paper, for low to moderate intensity exercise, we would expect this drop in glucose. For the higher exercise intensities with, this effect of the catecholamines, we might expect stable or slightly increase in glucose. And for very high intensity, we might see an increase in the glucose levels. What does that mean? At the same time, we need to consume carbohydrates to avoid hypoglycemia for the AID systems in a lower extent. Let's jump over to the resistance training to Leo to check her glucose. Leo, can you explain to us what you did in preparation to this exercise session and why did you do it?
I eat at 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock, and then I start the ease-off mode at 16 o'clock.
Okay. Did you also increase the glucose target?
100.
So you're on a 100 plus ease
Yes.
off, okay? Why did you start the ease off and don't say because Othmar told you? Please, make it more scientific. No, I'm just kidding.
I must do.
So from your experience, so you were also in all the clinical trials we performed, that also for resistance exercise, we see a drop in glucose. So let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Is everyone okay? Yes. Sabrina, would you be so kind to double check CGM readings with blood glucose measurements? Just for a second. Because it's always of interest if this holds true. Why are people with type 1 diabetes not exercising? And you all know that they are not exercising because for one reason, they are afraid of exercise-induced hypoglycemia. Where is this coming from? Quite easily explained. One of the main triggers of exercise-induced hypoglycemia is not exercise. It's insulin on board. So it would be wrong talking about exercise-induced hypoglycemia. To be honest, it's insulin-induced hypoglycemia and exogenous insulin-induced. Is everyone okay with you guys? Are good? Okay. So this is the reason why we check always with the mylife CamAPS system, the landscape, because when using the landscape, you see what is going on at the moment with the automated insulin delivery. Let's check again with the treadmill with Marcus, the actual value, so the treadmill display. Let's see what is his actual level. It's 126, it's stable. Can we go into landscape to see also if they are still on a no delivery? He is. And this must be clear, this is why we love that people do not do a pump suspension, because there would be no advantage. The mylife CamAPS system is doing the same automatically. So it makes no difference if you give the pump off or if there's no insulin delivered. So preferably, we like them to stay on the insulin pump for safety reasons. Let's go up again. Let's check his value, 126. Let's check with Pia. So please to the cycling accumulator where we see the interval session. So let's check the actual value. 117. Let's go into landscape. It looks like there might be already some values missing. It could be because the line is far away from the right side. So what is happening here? Also no delivery of insulin. So it would make no difference if she would have been doing a pump suspension. No advantage because the mylife CamAPS system is doing the same automatically. Sabrina, is there any severe difference between the interstitial glucose from CGM readings and the blood glucose? You have no microphone, but you can say it to me, then it's also fine. No. Okay, that's a good sign. Sometimes we do double check the interstitial glucose versus the blood glucose. Let's jump back to the PowerPoint presentation. So as discussed before, and you know the data, insulin on board is a major driver for exercise-induced hypoglycemia, but it's also the time of day. So we do know that people with type 1 diabetes do need higher insulin doses during morning exercise when compared against evening exercise. And this goes back to the cortisol effect and the Dunn phenomenon. So always take care when people are not using an AID system that you use and recommend higher doses of insulin during morning exercise. What is the cool thing with mylife CamAPS? This is automatically performed. So it doesn't matter if it's morning exercise or if it's evening exercise. The system is automatically adapting to the time of day. And this is maybe one reason why we would like additionally to start the higher glucose target 2 hours in advance and start the ease off to avoid falling glucose under pre-exercise conditions. So it's so important that during the first 2 hours before the exercise session, glucose stays stable. What is the reason for hypo? This is physiology and it's boring. Let's discuss with the other guys. Markus, how many hypos did you have during 1 week running 6 hours a day?
During the whole week, I think 5, so maybe once a day, maybe, not even every day.
I think the lowest value I did see was a 64 aroundish, as far as I do remember.
Yeah.
So it was never ever during 6 hours a day during his competition any episode of clinical relevant hypoglycemia. For sure, we had very standardized protocols we were following during the Transalp run, but however, it's more or less the same. Starting ease off 2 hours in advance to the exercise session and then try to support the AID system with carbohydrates. Very funny to see, as you see on this slide, insulin injection via exogenous insulin and muscle contraction per se is doing the same. And this is the major explanation why people with type 1 diabetes need to reduce the insulin dose. But let's jump over to Pia. Let's check her glucose. Pia looks already a little bit tired because we have to do a high intensity interval exercise. Let's check, please, the cycloergometer. Okay, we have now lost the trace. This is really good because this is then a real life session and I like that. So what is the issue at the moment? You all guys are using a Bluetooth and most of you are. So what we do see quite often that when there are too many Bluetooth signals here around that we are losing the trace. Let's check another one. You are feeling well? All good, Pia? Okay. Let's check Leah's readings. And Sabrina, could you do a blood glucose measurement with Pia? Just to double check because we do not see any value. So it's 133 milligram per deciliter with Leo. Can we go into landscape? I would be interested what is happening at the moment with the automated insulin delivery. And there is a minimum increase in the insulin delivery. And what do we see here in yellow? Ease off did stop already. So she had a timestamp on it for, I think it was 1 hour. Leo, you used the ease off for 1 hour?
2 hours.
2 hours. And then it stopped now. So I need to ask you, should we start the ease off again or should we stay on the regular glucose target?
We will be waiting.
You would be waiting? Okay. So as some of you know, I have also type 1 diabetes. I would not be waiting, but I won't force her now. So it's totally fine. Now, what is the reason for that? Let's jump back to the PowerPoint presentation, please. It's very easy to explain why she likes to avoid now using the ease off, and this is this slide. With increasing exercise intensity, quite easily explained, you go up with the catecholamine effect. And we have this function that on the hepatic glycogen depletion is now ongoing and it might go up with her glucose levels. So this is the explanation for increasing glucose levels. You okay, Leo? All good? Perfect.
All good.
Let's check the glucose from Markus, please. Blood glucose is fine with Pia. What is it? 211. This is okay, I would say. It's okay. So Markus is running on a 131. Let's check the landscape. Marcus is still, because it's in yellow, in the ease off function. So we have a decrease in the aggressiveness of the automated insulin delivery. So he looks quite stable, to be honest, but let's check what happened before. So before he was running aroundish on a 1 unit per hour insulin delivered. And as soon as you see here, he started the ease off. What did happen? Immediately, the insulin delivery went down to 0. So this is very important for the system, for mylife CamAPS. As soon as you change a glucose target, or as soon as you start an ease off under certain circumstances, there is an immediate response in the automated insulin delivery. Let's check his value again, go up, 133. So I think we are very close for all of you guys to 100% time in range, so you are much better than all the healthy individuals in this room. Let's check again the PowerPoint presentation, please. So we had the explanation what is going on with increasing exercise intensity. So we would expect these increases with Leo, and we would also expect it with Pia. Pia, you are fine? Okay, that's good. So we might see this increase. We have now also her levels back. Let's check it. Let's jump into it. So let's share the screen for the cycliometer. And she's doing now her interval sessions. This looks good, 139. And there you see already the slight catecholamine effect. So she is doing high intensity interval session, and we see the glucose is already slightly going up. So physiology holds true, and so far the ESD ISPET position paper holds true. We have another 30 minutes to go. I hope it stays the same. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So these are the functions, and most of you know. So what are the options with mylife CamAPS? You have two features. We have the boost and the ease off, and we like them to be used for not regular exercise, more for irregular exercise, because some parts are excluded from the algorithmic learning when you start ease off and boost. So if you have a patient who is, for example, every 2 weeks going for a hike over 6 hours, the ease off per se is a perfect function to be incorporated. What is ease off doing? It's decreasing the algorithm responsiveness. What is boost doing? It's increasing the algorithm responsiveness. So it's easy to start it, as you have been seeing before. Another option we also have incorporated in the ESD ISPET position paper is to increase or go down with the glucose target. Pia, you are fine? Do you want to have a break?
No.
Should we change? Do you want to, and I?
No.
Thank you for saying that. So what can we do? So we have this range to be defined between 4.4 and 11 millimole per liter. We have the 0.1 millimole per liter steps, and this is completely included in the algorithmic learning. So it might be a perfect choice for regular exercise. You know, for these people who are always every day exercising at 5 p.m. And if this holds true, then you always would see for these patients that the automated insulin delivery is already going down because it's anticipating that this person will be performing exercise. Pia, how often are you using the boost mode during exercise?
Almost never.
Thank you very much. So this does mean our position paper is wrong. Leo, how often are you using the boost mode during exercise? You can say
Never.
yes, it's fine. Okay, never. Markus, you are from Austria, I'm from Austria. How often are you using the boost mode during exercise?
Every time in the morning during the strength sessions, twice a week. Also during the interval training on a treadmill or outside. Yeah, and sometimes when I forget to set the ease off, eat much more than necessary and getting high.
Thank you for your honesty. Bia, or if someone else need a short break in between, take a break, it's totally fine.
Comfortable.
It's uncomfortable. This is the issue. So this is not the type 1 specific issue, to be honest with you. Let's go on. This is the specific recommendation for mylife CamAPS. It's now online for half a year, and we would like always to prove this recommendation. And what is the recommendation in detail? So for planned exercise, if someone is expecting a glucose drop, we always would start the ease off and go up with the glucose target around 2 hours in advance to exercise. So why 2 hours? Because we see pharmacodynamically that the insulin is working quite long, so close to 6 hours to lower the glucose levels. So this is why we're recommending it. What is going on here? Okay, quite professional. Let's go on. What is happening if someone is going high during exercise? There we would recommend staying on the regular glucose target or even start the boost mode. Very important to understand this recommendation for using the boost mode during the exercise session. We would only give to experienced exercisers with type 1, and we would only give it to experienced type 1s at all. So we would not recommend this to someone who had the diagnosis 3 months ago. So this must be clear and said. Markus, did you follow these recommendations 2 hours in advance, starting ease off and or going up with the glucose target?
No, only 1 hour, but I'm used to train a lot, so.
So it's your experience that you know it's totally fine starting at 1 hour in advance. How much carbohydrates are you consuming around this per hour of exercise when you do a moderate intensity run?
Between 0 and 36
grams. Okay. So you make the decision based on what is needed at the moment?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Pia, normally for exercise, if you need a break, go for it. I just can repeat myself.
Give me 10 seconds.
Also, you're in the interval, sorry for that. Let's ask Leo first. Leo, how often and how much carbohydrates do you need around this during 1 hour of exercise to support the mylife CamAPS system? Is it 10 gram carbs per hour? Is it 20 gram when you would need to say
10.
an average? Around 10 gram carbs per hour?
Yes.
Okay. What are you preferring? What are you consuming?
Capri-Sun.
Capri-Sun. I did know that. So it's an orange juice where you get in Austria and in Germany. Pia, what about you? How many gram carbs do you need during exercise?
It differs a lot because I'm a very irregular training person. So between 0 and 40.
Okay.
50.
So quite a wide range. But let's check Pia's glucose. I want to double check. Let's check the glucose of the cycliacometer, just to make sure that she's just tired and glucose is still fine. Okay, let's go into the landscape, please, for a second to check what the basal delivery is doing. Okay, so she's still on 0. And this is so interesting to see. You always see it's a little bit going up slightly in between. This is that there is no insertion failure, so that the infusion keeps open. But additionally, the system knows quite well that she now needs any insulin, and she is still in the ease-off mode. So even if you would stop now the ease-off mode, the insulin delivery would not go up, because the insulin is, the system is automatically detecting there is no insulin required at the moment. Let's check the glucose of Leo from the resistance training, from the strength training. Leo is stable, as you would have been expecting. She was saying that to me in advance to the exercise session. Nothing is happening with her. She always is stable during the gym session. But let's check what has been done automatically with the insulin delivery. And this is a thing that is interesting. Now some insulin is constantly delivered, very small amount. And this is a thing we need to discuss with Roman. I would not deliver any insulin now, but the system is much smarter than we are. So we always need to take care that we are not doing too much within the systems. But as you see here, and we will check within the next 15, 20 minutes what is coming up next with the delivery. Leo, you okay? All good?
All good.
Let's jump over to Markus, to the treadmill. Let's see what is happening here. Perfect. Does anyone has any knowledge why it's orange at the moment? What could be a reason why it's orange? Candice, do you want to say it? Yeah. So now it's a little bit of a search for the automated mode. It's orange because it's also a nice color. And when it's completely in the automated mode, it's always green. Let's check what is going with the basal delivery in the landscape. And we are still in the situation for constant load, moderate intensity exercise. No insulin is delivered. And so far, everything is looking quite stable. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation, please. Just for fun purposes, Sabrina, would you mind making 3 ketone measurements? You know, it's such a hot topic, which is coming up quite soon. What are the ketones doing? And we have no real insight, but let's check it what is happening during exercise when all of them are in a good glycemic situation at the moment. Let's check what the ketones are doing. So what should be done for spontaneous exercise? And this is what we did, I think, with Pia, as far as I do remember. In advance to the exercise session, we consumed 10 gram carbs because you were below 126.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a thing you would also do at home?
Yeah.
What is your safe target for exercise?
Between 180 and 140, I would say.
Okay.
130, 40 maybe.
Okay. Leo, what is your range you like to do exercise in with the glucose? Aroundish?
140, 160.
So very tight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Markus?
Sorry,
What
what
is
was the
your
question?
perfect range for glucose when you have the best results when running a marathon? What's the perfect glucose level for you? Which range?
All out marathon is 150. Normal training session, I normally don't change anything.
Okay. Markus, do you know your ketones level? What was it?
The what?
The ketones?
0.4.
0.4, which is a nice value, you know, with the new CKM position paper, the new consensus paper, there will be no readings displayed from 0 to 0.6. You just see this green balcony, and then when it's above the 0.6, there will be the first values for ketones displayed. Let's see the ketones very soon for beer. You feel fine, Markus?
Yeah.
Yeah? Beer, all good?
Yeah.
Okay. Leo, all good?
Yes.
Okay, let's check what should be done during the exercise session, if we are following the recommendation or if we are doing random stuff. So for low intensity exercise and moderate intensity exercise, where we would expect a glucose drop at the threshold of 126, we are recommending consuming carbohydrates. And these should be given based on the trend error or on the velocity of glucose drop. So for very fast dropping glucose, we are recommending 12 up to 20 gram carbs. And important to understand, this needs to be filled within the mylife CamAPS system as hypoglycemia treatment if carbohydrates are consumed. For slightly decreasing glucose, but the person is already below a 126, we are recommending 6 up to 12 gram carbs. And for a very slow slight decrease, we are recommending 3 up to 6 gram carbs if the person is below 126 milligram per deciliter. We are always recommending for these types of exercise, starting the ease off, and if needed, go up with the personal glucose target. Is everyone okay? Yes?
Yes.
What were the ketone levels for Pia?
0.
0? So 0.0. Okay. What were the ketones levels for Leo? 0.1. So we do see, even in the situation now above an hour when no basal was delivered, we don't see this massive increase in ketones. And I think this will be great fun in the future. What is good ketones, what is bad ketones, especially when someone is running on an AID system, for example, is doing a low carbohydrate diet and was drinking on the previous day a bottle of wine. So this will be interesting to see that, what will be the recommendation, but I'm quite sure Thomas Danne knows best and he will be presenting it quite soon. So these are the recommendations. Markus, you know this recommendation because you were one of the very first ones using it during your marathons. What do you think about these recommendations? Are you using them at all, or is it just the first recommendation?
No, I'm using it at all, but it depends on the time and the insulin on body. If it's too much insulin, I know I need to take much more carbs than suggested.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm fine with the recommendation.
Okay, let's check the glucose of Markus. So let's jump over to the treadmill and let's see if he starts now to drop for this constant load, moderate intensity exercise. Okay, he's still going up. Let's go into landscape. But you see at the same time, even ease off is running, the automated delivery is going up. So this must be clear. Ease off per se does not mean that no insulin is delivered. So under certain circumstances, like even during exercise, he consumed carbohydrates in advance. There was now no insulin delivered. Now the insulin delivery is going slightly up, which is above his basal rate, which is within his insulin pump. Would you change anything now in the setting, Markus? I know you don't see your glucose concentration now. Do you want to double check? You're allowed to have a break.
You can turn off, ease off. I would do it and come back down.
Okay, then let's do that. And then immediately jump back, please, to the landscape. And then let's see if there is a change in the insulin delivery. So please stop ease off with the treadmill as recommended by Markus. And now go to the landscape. And let's see if it's further going up. Let's wait a little bit. If this is happening or not, we will see. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. So I think Markus was right what he did, because he's further increasing. He's now close to a 170, and even the ease off was running. The system did recognize, okay, this guy needs now some insulin being delivered. So we should remember that he is running aroundish on a 1.2 units per hour, and we will check that afterwards again. Let's jump over to Pia, please, for the cycling ergometer. Let's check her glucose. What is going on with Pia? Okay, we lost the trace. That doesn't matter. Let's jump over to Leo. Leo is already checking the glucose of the other exercise, you guys. Okay, we are now with Leo. We are searching for the auto mode due to the Bluetooth connection. Let's go into landscape. Let's see what the system is doing. So the ease off did stop with Leo, and some insulin is now delivered based when she was still in the automatic mode, because the system does remember a couple of minutes what was predefined. Then when she is over a longer period of time in the disconnection, the system will jump after a certain period of time into the pre-programmed basal delivery. So let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Sabrina, can you do a double check for the glucose, for the blood glucose, just for safety reason that everything is going well? Leo, what do you prefer? Starting in general the ease off, or going up with the personal glucose target for exercise, or both? What is your normal procedure, your standard procedure?
I started the ease off.
Okay, only the ease off and not changing the glucose target?
Also, I
Both.
make...
Okay. Pia, what do you prefer? Starting ease off, or doing both, or changing the glucose target?
Always ease off, and if I'm going for a run longer than a half an hour, I change the glucose target.
Okay, what is your normal target you are targeting?
95.
Okay.
Normally.
And for exercise?
For
when you are
exercise,
with a long duration exercise?
125.
125 plus ease off.
Yes.
Okay. Very important question to Markus. Under post-exercise conditions, so you did a marathon as you normally do in 2 hours, 45 minutes. Are you staying on an elevated glucose target? Are you still using the ease off under post-exercise conditions?
Set a higher glucose target, and it depends if my blood sugar is under the glucose target or it's over it. If it's under my target, then I use ease off, and it's over it, I just let the target at 120. Okay,
so this does mean it's depending individually which fits in this situation best for you. Is that right?
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
What was your blood glucose reading, Markus? Do you know it?
131.
Okay. What was the blood glucose reading of Pia?
197.
Okay. What is the blood glucose reading? Let's check with Leo. But as you see, we are very close to range, or we are absolutely in range for all the exercise sessions. So at the moment, it's looking perfect. We still have to go 19 minutes, so everything is fine. So we can check now the glucose of Markus. Is it Markus or Pia? Pia. Yeah, let's check the glucose of the cycle ergometer exercise session. And it's a perfect match. It's quite the same. So we see even during the exercise session, the actual blood glucose reading is quite the same as the CGM reading. We see a slight increase in the glucose concentration. So Pia, do you want to stay on the setting you have at the moment, or do you want to change it?
I would switch off ease mode.
Okay,
Ease off.
then please stop ease off and immediately go into the landscape. So now again, no insulin is delivered at the moment, and then we will check if there might be quite soon an increase. So why is no insulin delivered? As you see here, maybe quite small in the top line, she consumed carbohydrates in advance to the exercise session, so 2 times 5 gram carbs. She filled it into the system as hypoglycemia treatment to make sure that the automated insulin delivery is not going up, because she was low, not into hypo, but not high enough in advance to the exercise session. Let's check now with Markus at the treadmill in landscape if stopping the ease off did increase the insulin delivery. I'm curious to know. Now with Markus, please, in the landscape. Yes. Before it was around a 1.2 units delivered, and now we are close to 2 units being delivered. So you see this immediate response as soon as he stopped the ease off, even if it was during the exercise session, and he is now running on a 190, 180 around-ish. The automated insulin delivery is going up and try now to stabilize his glucose. Markus, is that fine for you? You can double check at the back. Is your screen at the moment? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay, perfect. Let's check now with Pia. Okay, let's do first Leo, please. Let's check what is going on with Leo. But we see that immediate response as soon as you stop the ease off function, insulin delivery is going up. Let's go into the landscape again. We are still on the stable delivery based on the readings that were in Automod in advance. Now we are in orange. This is now no direct connectivity to the CGM readings. Please go back. Let's see, it's 147. What was the blood glucose measurement with her? 134, so this is totally fine. So normally we are happy if these readings are quite close to each other. Let's jump back to the PowerPoint presentation for a second. Let's see if it's working. So no one, to sum it up at this stage, so no one did massively increase. We had the slight increases. So what did the guys do? They more or less did only stop the ease off. So I have now a question. Do you guys know your actual glucose target at the moment? Leo, do you know your glucose target at the moment you're running on?
Yes.
What is it?
135.
Yeah. Pia, your glucose target?
130.
Okay. Markus?
150.
Okay. My question, would you also now go down with the glucose target, or from your point of view, is it sufficient to just stop the ease off mode? Markus, what is your thought?
If you want to show something, you can change it to 120, but otherwise I'm fine with 150.
So to be honest with you, I don't want to show something. For me, it's totally fine if we leave the setting as it is.
Okay.
Pia, what about you?
I would also leave it, mainly because normally when I'm running or something, I would not want to set the settings.
Okay. Leo, would you stay on this glucose target?
I would also leave it.
Yeah, can we check the glucose of Leo for the resistance exercise session? Do we have nice readings? Yeah, let's check it. So we are back into automated mode. It's green again. She's running on the 104.7. And as you see here, this was the comparison to the previous. Now the automated insulin delivery is also going up. So it's already increasing to bring her glucose down. Do we have any questions from the online audience? Did you check, by the way? Let's see if there's anything going on. Okay. Are there any questions from the audience here inside in between? You want to ask these guys? These are the experts, I'm not. Any questions so far? This is good for them, I think, you know. This is good for them. Then let's go on. So let's check the glucose of Marcus, please. Let's jump over to the treadmill. No one is sweating. This is interesting. Marcus, you're sweating already? Okay.
Go.
5 minutes ago. You're used to it. So we are running on a 173, a slight increase in glucose. Let's double check the insulin delivery again. And it's very the same as it was before, but it's already quite above the basal rate which is in his system. You feel fine, Marcus?
Yep.
Okay, let's jump over to Pia, so to the cycliargometer. Yeah, 188. Let's go into the landscape. Okay, now she's going up. And this is quite nice to see. So this was the thing we were discussing. Quite a long period of time, no insulin was delivered. What was her ketone level? 0. So no ketones existing. Would it be okay to measure ketones again, just for research purposes? Thank you. So this is quite interesting to see. So even no basal was delivered, and now it's going up. Ketones are 0.0. We might expect now a slight increase in the ketones levels. Let's check Leo again, if we have a value. And then let's ask if Leo wants to change her settings. So please go into landscape. It's 147. Leo, do you want to check what is going on with the automated delivery? Glucose is 147. Are you happy with it?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. And let's wait for the ketone measurements for Pia. And then let's jump back to the PowerPoint presentation. Marcus, what would you do now if you would have been doing the session of Leo for the gym session? What would be a normal setting for resistance exercise you said before? Can you explain that again?
I will start with the boost mode, and it depends on the value of my blood sugar. If it's higher than 120, I will start it immediately, even before I'm at the gym. And otherwise, I will start it when I'm there 10 minutes after I started the training to set my value or my blood sugar down to a normal level.
Okay. And for the resistance exercise, do you start any settings quite in advance to the session where you would expect the glucose is going up? Or do you start, for example, boost at the onset of exercise?
I start with the boost normally at the start at the exercise.
Okay. Okay. What was the ketone level for Pia? 0.1, so massive increase in ketones from 0.0 to 0.1. But this is so important to understand. So even there was a break in the delivery now over hours, there was no real increase in ketone levels. So this is very interesting to see. To Bia, you are okay? Normally, when would you be using the boost? You did say not too often, but for the gym sessions, when you go to the gym, is your glucose always dropping?
I'm not a regular gym person, but if I go to the gym, then I just try to start off quite low.
Yeah.
And then go with it without ease-off modus.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Are there any questions from the audience so far? We have another 10 minutes. Is there any question you would like to ask these guys? Yeah, someone is walking. Maybe she's leaving or asking a question. A question, please go ahead.
So if they would consume carbs right now, would you put in hypo treatment or just let the system get a boost?
let's ask the guys first, and I give my nerd answer. Okay? Markus, would you fill in when you would give carbs now as hypo treatment into system?
What is my value at the moment?
If you would be running a little bit lower, so 100 for example.
Hypo treatment, yes.
As a hypo treatment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you are at 170?
Then not, but then I wouldn't eat something.
But let's ask the question differently. If you would eat something at 170 because you're expecting a decrease, would you use the hypo treatment function?
No, then I would add as snack.
Okay. What about Pia?
I would say the same. If I'm below, I would say below 150, I would do hypo treatment, and above I would do snack.
Leo, what would you do when you would now consume carbohydrates at around 130? Would you fill it into the system as a snack or as hypoglycemia treatment, or would you not announce it?
Hypo treatment.
Okay. So in general, it's depending if the people are consuming carbs because they are hungry or they want to refill the glycogen intramuscularly. Then we would more often use the meal function instead of hypoglycemia treatment. But if it's only for the purpose of avoiding hypoglycemia, we would be recommending using the hypoglycemia treatment function.
I have another question.
Go for it.
If a person is exercising and is quite high and he decides to consume carbs and he uses the hypo treatment, does the system give not extra insulin?
If it's announced as hypoglycemia treatment?
It never gives extra insulin?
So if it's seeing the system that this person is followingly going up to a 200 or 250, even if it was announced as hypoglycemia treatment, after a certain period of time, some insulin will be delivered. So I think it's 30 minutes waiting time, and after 30 minutes, they will be making a new decision, is insulin now delivered? So even when using hypoglycemia treatment function, some insulin might be delivered after 30 minutes, depending of the extent in increase.
Thank you.
So let's see the guys. Who is that? So let's see the gym session, and please go ahead with the next question.
I'm curious to know, since how long are they using this system?
Yeah.
And also, when did they feel confident to give the control and use automated, the automated functions that it has?
I think the first question is, when did you switch over to mylife CamAPS, Markus?
5 years ago, and 3 years ago to the loop.
Okay. Pia?
About 3 weeks ago.
So Pia was one of our study participants, for study purposes going to be switched over to mylife CamAPS, and she loved it, so she stayed on it. Yeah. Leo?
1 year ago.
Okay. And your second question, I'm unsure if I understood it right. Are they using already from the beginning all the functions? Was this the question?
I can repeat. No, I meant that from the start, were they using all the automated features that it has? Like, for example, the ease of mode and other stuff?
Yeah.
Or they took it, they experienced get used to the pump for a bit and then started more automated features?
Okay. Markus, did you use all the features from the very first day, especially around exercise, I assume? Or did you test still going into hypo and then learning about ease off?
Tried it out 2019 in a clinical research, so I knew it before. And I started with all functions at the first day.
And I think this is so important from an educational point of view. So you need to explain the full range of opportunities, but suitable for that person at that moment. So if someone wants only work with ease off, then this person needs to know that ease off should be used, for example, if someone is going shopping. So it's not just about exercise, it's also about physically active, where we would use the ease off feature. So please teach these features, these general functions from the very first day. But let's ask Pia. Did you use the you were in the exercise study, I need to say. But did you use the function from the very first day? Ease off, boost, glucose target stuff?
No, I had like 2 or 3 days without it, just to get used to the system. And then I knew what the ESOF was about, but I just used it some days later.
Yeah. So we did the normal switch for study purposes. She had the normal education and program, and then she did her first real exercise session within the exercise study. So she was under very safe conditions, to be honest. Leo, did you use Ease Off Boost from the very first day? Or did you wait?
No, I wait 2 weeks and then I need Ease Off and Boost.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can we check the blood glucose for Bia now, Sabrina? Because I assume it's a wrong reading we are seeing here at the moment. You see it's immediately go down now, but just 1 dot in the system. So I assume it's a wrong reading. Can we go up with the display again? And then let's check what is it saying. It's saying 173, so we are absolutely in range. But let's double check now the blood glucose. So it's saying 173. Can we check the landscape again with Bia? So Bia is doing the high intensity interval session. Bia did stop the ease off, and now we have stable insulin delivery, which is much higher than it was in advance because no insulin was delivered. Let's check Marcus on the treadmill. What is his glucose saying? Also in range, very close to go out of the range, but I'm still happy with it. Let's check the landscape, how much insulin delivery he's on now, and he's still running on a 1.7 units per hour insulin delivered. So the system is even during exercise recognizing that this person is now a little bit too high in comparison to that what would we want to achieve. Blood glucose? 197 instead of 173 the system was displaying. Are there any further questions from your side? We have another 3 minutes. I could ask some questions. Are there any interests you want to ask these guys? Then I ask the last round of questions. Markus, you were a participant 15 years ago around us in our first exercise trial with using old school insulin pens. You were running on an insulin pump, traditional CSII. You're using now an AID.
Yeah.
What is an easy one? Where you're struggling? What was easy? What was difficult in comparison of the therapies?
With the pen therapy, it was hard to find the right baseline or the right time to inject or reduce the base. With the traditional pump system, it was the same. And with automated insulin system, there is no problem anymore.
Okay, thank you. Pia, what is your thought on that?
In general, it's much more comfortable
Yeah.
with the AID, especially during night, because it just levels the glucose and you don't have to get up because it's ping-ponging all night.
Yeah. So the nighttime period on the post-exercise condition, I think, is quite cool,
Yeah.
or isn't it? So it's normally the situation, so most of you know I have also a little bit of an issue with type 1 diabetes, and this is really a cool thing with AID and with mylife CamAPS. You go to bed with 100 milligram per deciliter, you wake up in the morning with 100 milligram per deciliter. And this is such an improvement, not just from a glucose point of view, from a quality of life point of view if someone is regularly exercising. Leo, what is your thought? And then we have here another question. Insulin pen, traditional insulin pump, or AID?
AID, it's almost easy,
Yeah.
the handling, and the glucose almost better.
Okay, thank you. And we have a very interesting question. I'm looking forward to this one because this guy was also a co-author of the ESD ISPED position paper.
Yeah, thank you so much for the great session. I really loved it. I just want to know, we are probably running out of time, but a very interesting moment is now coming. You will stop exercising. So what is your experience? What is your glucose going to do now? And any takeaway advice on that? Would it go up, and what do you do?
Markus, maybe you start?
What? Sorry.
post-exercise post-exercise conditions. I think we can also stop now with the exercise and make a short, quick applause in the middle for these three people. So one sentence, what would you do now with the settings? I hope everyone is fine, because we often see under post-exercise condition as a first response a syncope. So if anyone is feeling sick, just sit down, please. We have some experience with that. What are you doing now with the pump setting under post-exercise condition?
I set the target value to 120 for the next 2 hours, maybe, to be safe, not to get hypoglycemia, and then I will change it to the normal settings at night.
Pia, your thoughts on that?
I will go back to the normal settings immediately, because I have still some time to go till I go to sleep, so I will check it myself.
Okay. Leo, what are your settings?
For the next 2 hours,
Yeah.
I need 120 glucose, and then the normal settings.
Is it a good answer? Are you happy? Okay. I think we need to have a big applause again. It's not normal and it's not so easy that people with type 1 are on the stage. PowerPoint. So I feel honored and privileged working together with you guys in all the clinical trials now close to 15 years. You make all these position papers and all the stuff gonna happen. You are the reason, I think, why we are doing it, and I just can be absolutely appreciating working together with you. So thank you so much, and it was my pleasure talking in front of you. Thank you.